Hello, Mike Sneed again. I'm back with you. I'm the owner of Sneed Electrical and Appliance Service and also the Appliance Outlet Center in Clayton, North Carolina. And I'm back here today at my store. Just had to do a training program with a couple new employees. Now that they're gone, I'm getting ready to close up, and I decided I would come in and speak a little bit today. One of my employees that came in, we was having a discussion, and we were talking about different fields in which you could work. And I was telling them that I thought being a plumber was a more logical choice than being a medical doctor, and they couldn't believe me why I would think a plumber is a better choice than being a medical doctor. And so what happened? We just started to write down a few things at the end of our shift today. Check that. I started to write down a couple of things of how I came about thinking that choosing the field of being a plumber could be a better choice than choosing the field of being a medical doctor. So it's kind of quick with me doing this. I usually, if I'm going to do a live from Facebook, I would usually give everybody like a day notice before I jump on, so people kind of be ready to watch. This kind of happens sporadically, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And if you catch it later, feel free to send me a comment if you would like to make a comment about it, or if you happen to join in, just let me know any questions, and I'll go ahead and try to answer them. First, the difference between a doctor and a plumber. I'm going to start off with the actual cost. The cost to become a doctor could cost you anywhere between $80,000 to upwards of over $200,000 by the time you include grad school, undergrad, and the cost of college tuitions are steadily going up. So they're not coming down; they're constantly going up. And right now, it'll cost you anywhere between $80,000 to $200,000 to become a doctor. On the other side, for a plumber, it will cost you anywhere between $3,000 out of your pocket, or you can actually make money trying to become a plumber. Because a plumber is one of the fields that you actually can get on the job training, so you can actually start making $20,000 to $30,000 a year as you earn and learn your time to become a plumber. So as a doctor, you paying somebody $80,000 to $200,000 to learn the trade, how to become a doctor. As a plumber, you either pay $3,000 to go somewhere like a community college or a trade school, or you can go work with an existing plumbing company right out of high school, and you'll be making anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000 while you actually becoming not say plumber, not just somebody who does plumbing, becoming a general contractor where you get your contractor's license, and you're licensed and you're able to go out and bid on contracts and hire people work for you. So you can actually go start working with somebody, and they'll pay you $20,000 to $30,000 a year as they actually train you. The other thing, the education part. To the education become a doctor, you're gonna have to go 8 to 10 years past high school. So that's include undergrad, your medical school, and all that. You're looking 8 to 10 years of school on top of graduating from high school. So it's a long haul to become a doctor. A plumber, on the other hand, you can have a GED, or you can even drop out of school and become a plumber. It doesn't require, there's no mandation when you go take your general contractor's license to say that you have graduated from a trade school, or that you have advanced degrees or a high school diploma. All it requires you to have on most trades anywhere between 4 to 5 years of working experience, where you actually worked up under somebody like an apprentice. So you don't have to have advanced degrees or anything to become a plumber. And so therefore, if you're going to be a doctor, you have to be extremely smart to become a doctor. You have to be the best of the best, and it has a weaving out process, versus if you are a plumber, you can be the ordinary Joe who likes to work with their hands. And not saying that you're not smart, but you might not be somebody who's built to be in the classroom doing a lot of classwork. The other thing that you have to worry about when you become a doctor is it scalable? And I say it's scalable, meaning that if I become a doctor, can I actually multiply myself? Meaning, if once I become a doctor, and if I'm a surgeon, then every time somebody got to have some surgery done, I'm the person who got to get up out of my bed to go there to the operating room or the surgical room and perform the procedure. And I'm the one, so I'm constantly going to have to be working. So it's never a time where I can just train somebody and let them go do the surgery for me. I'm the person who got to get up out of my bed, go to the hospital, perform the surgery every time it happens. So that means I only have that one income. That's the income that I can generate. Versus if I become a plumber is scalable, meaning once I get my general contractor's license, now I can train one person or I can train 300 people. Some of these plumber contractors, they have 300 to 400 people working up under them. So that's 300 or 400 people doing the exact same job he once would do, and he doesn't have to go out there anymore. And he collects money from all those people. So what happens, the surgeon, he gets to a point where he actually hits a ceiling, where he can't make any more money. And he's going to constantly have to be the one going out there every day. And as you start to get older, you don't feel like going out there every day. And also, your health starts to decline and stuff. You might not be able to do the surgeries anymore. Your hands and stuff you might have a problem with your hands or your eyes, and you can't do it anymore. Versus a plumber, once a plumber goes out there and he learns the trade and he gets licensed, he can train and hire other people up under him or hire subs up under him that can do the work for him, and he can multiply himself. So there's no ceiling to how much money he can make. He can make as much money as he wants, and he doesn't have to go out there anymore. The other thing is passed down. If I become a doctor and I happen to die, or if I build a doctor practice, a practice, can I pass that down to my son or my daughter? Unfortunately, unless they go to school and they're very smart like I was, and become a doctor, then they can't get the practice. It's hard to pass it down because they're not able to do the practice. Now you might could own the practice and hire a doctor to come in there with you, but still, because you got to hire a doctor, that's a specialized knowledge and a specialized skill. His salary is going to be really, really high. So it's a highly sought out position that you have to go get somebody to do. And also now with the changes in the health care bills and all that and all the reforms, the salaries for doctors are actually starting to come down. Where now you're looking at the government and your health insurance to pay the bills, and they're actually starting to go in and telling doctors how much they can charge, and they're not paying them for it. So their salaries are actually starting to come down. Versus if you are a plumber, once I pass away, if I have a plumbing company, I can pass it on to my kids or my grandkids, and they can get any general contractor with a plumber's license to come in, as long as they're a license holder, and they can run the company for me. And it doesn't require somebody with a highly skilled, a high degree to do it. And it's a lot easier to find a plumber or a general contractor to come in and fill that position. And most of the time, what happened within those in bigger plumbing companies, people who work up under them, they actually encourage them to go get their license, and they become license holders for those companies. So you don't have just one or two people there with license, or just the owner with license. You have 6 or 7 people there with contractor's license. So if the owner dies, though other people's licenses are still with that company, they can still continue on, and they constantly bringing in more people and bringing them in. So they constantly have people there on staff who are actually there ready to step in if somebody was to leave or if somebody was to die. So it's not easy. It's not nothing hard to pass that down along. Now, then people say, well, what about the salaries? What about the salaries? A doctor make $150,000, $200,000 per year as a base salary. Well, a lot of plumbers, believe it or not, one truck will make you anywhere between $100,000 to $150,000 per year. And to get that one, and to start the cost to go into business, if I was say for instance, I was going to be a medical doctor, or say I was going to be a dentist. A lot of times for me to open up my dental practice, by the time I buy the equipment, get my malpractice insurance and all that, I'm $500,000 to $1 million in the hole that I have to do to open up that business. versus if I'm a plumber, once I get my plumber's license, my insurance is very cheap, and I can go out here and buy me a used van for like $1,500, and guess what? I'm going to make $150,000 to $200,000, $100,000 to $150,000 off of that little $1,500 van within a year's time. And just think now, if I was to take that van and multiply, get me 4 or 5 people doing the exact same thing, now I got 4 or 5 people out there making me $100,000 to $150,000, and I can pay them $50,000, and I can keep the rest. A doctor can't do that. A doctor can't. He's going to have to go out there and do it himself, and with that, he's actually locked in. So that's why I always tell people when they're looking for stuff, you don't have to actually go to college and get advanced degrees to be successful. The skilled trade is a very good place to start at, and it's a place that's always going to be in demand. And it's a place that I don't feel that it'll be outsourced or it can be automated right at this point in time. A lot of the doctors, as you're starting to see, are starting to get to the point where they're getting automated on, where you go into a doctor's office and you walk in there and they got a computer screen, and that computer screen is who, and you talking to somebody that might be sitting in another country, that might be in India. You stick your arm in the machine, it take your blood pressure, it reads your vital, and the guy that's in India that's making $30,000 a year, he's actually doing your examination, and the doctors in the U.S. are not getting hired; they're actually getting laid off. So that's just something that I had a good conversation with a couple of new hires today, where we were talking about the benefits of becoming a doctor versus a plumber, and which ones I felt was the better deal. And if you have any questions, just email me or make a comment, and I'll get back with you. And I'm getting ready to go enjoy this rest of my Saturday afternoon. Thank you.